This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, other holders. Jeff Cutastrophe and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on the stage. On this day, June 27th, 1988, it was a big fight. It was called Once and For All, the Tyson Spinks fight. Of course, that being the emphasis on the visual. So anyway, everything was on the line. The WBA, WBC, IBF Ring and Linear Undisputed Championship was on the line in Atlantic City at the Convention Hall. Both had claims. Tyson was the champion of the WBA, WBC, and IBF, while Spinks was the ring and linear champion, called the People's Champion. The lineal belt is when a heavyweight beats someone else. They're the linear champion. Like they kind of have a claim out of a belt, and then the person beats that, they get the linear belt. So anyway, Tyson, over the course of 18 months, took the WBC title from Trevor Burbick, the WBA title from Bone Crusher Smith, and the IBF title from Tony Tucker, and became the first fighter to be undisputed since 1978. He was the sanctioning bodies champion, but he was not the universal recognition as champion. Spinks was the IBF championship. And he was the IBF champion after beating Larry Holmes in 1985. He would do quite well, and it would be Spinks versus Tucker for the IBF belt. But Spinks actually wanted to fight Jerry Cooney instead of Tucker, and the IBF stripped Spinks, taking him out of that tournament. But despite all that, it was called the Linear Champion. So anyway, there was a lot of history. Mike Tyson turned pro in 1985 and won his first 19 fights all by knockout. He took care of Trevor Burbick to be the youngest heavyweight champion ever when he won the WBC belt. And anyway, Tyson knew what he could do. He defended his unified title 3 times before Michael Spinks. He took out Tyrell Biggs by knocking him out. Knocked out Larry Holmes in 1988 and then knocked out Tony Tubbs 2 months later. Meanwhile, Michael Spinks was a pro boxer shortly after winning the gold medal at middleweight in the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal, like another former world champion Sugar Ray Leonard. Initially, Spinks was actually more concerned with assisting Leon, his brother's rise to the heavyweight championship. Of course, Leon Spinks famously beat Muhammad Ali for the title, but then lost it back to Ali. So he was convinced to turn pro himself. So he would fight for the light heavyweight championship against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad and beat him. And then Spinks would be the light heavyweight championship of all 3 things. Spinks would move up to the heavyweight class to challenge Larry Holmes, who was the IBF ring and linear champion since 1978. It took 15 rounds, but Spinks won in a decision and was the first reigning light heavyweight champion to win the heavyweight belt. Spinks would beat Holmes again in a rematch and needed to defend his IBF title against Tony Tucker, but he actually wanted to take a more lucrative fight with Jerry Cooney. Spinks was stripped of the IBF belt, but was still the linear and the Ring Magazine's champion. So it was a massive buildup of epic proportions. Anyway, an agreement had been reached and all that. The IBF threatened to strip Tyson if the fight was not scheduled for 15 rounds, but then the president relented. IBF president relented and agreed to a 12-round limit. Now, of course, fights would be dropping from 15 to 12 rounds in a sense because of the incident with Bubu Mancini and that Korean boxer. But anyway, Donald Trump bid $11 million to stage the fight at the Atlantic City Convention Hall. So, anyway, Tyson would earn up to between 18 and $22 million based on fight revenues. Spinks would earn a flat $13.5 million. So this was highly anticipated and earned comparisons with Fraser Ali from 1971, called the fight of the century. Now, a lot of celebrities were in attendance. A ringside ticket cost $1,500, or the equivalent of $3,800 in today's money. Anyway, Tyson was pre-match 34-0 with 30 KOs, 5'11 and a half, like I am, and 218 pounds. He was only 21 years, 11 months old. Michael Spinks, by comparison, was 10 years older than Tyson. He was 31-0 with 21 KOs. 6'2 and 212 himself. So anyway, a lot of people would think that would pick Tyson. Some said Spinks and all that. The great Muhammad Ali said Spinks would win. Sugar Ray Leonard said that Spinks would win in a decision. So, anyway. Minutes before the fighters were due to enter the ring, there was a commotion when someone noticed a bump in Tyson's gloves and demanded his hands be rewrapped. I think Butch Lewis was the... No, he wasn't. Anyway. Well, Spinks' trainer said that Tyson's gloves were fine and all that. So, yeah, that's what happened. So the fight started. Referee Frank Cappuccino. I can't believe that's the name of the referee. Literally. Anyway. Started the fight. Tyson attacked Spinks from the opening bell, landing a solid hook in the first 10 seconds and forced Spinks to cover up. Anyway, he moved off the ropes, but Tyson trapped him again. A left uppercut and right hand to the body meant Spinks had to take a knee after a minute. It was the second time Spinks had been knocked down in his professional career. He took a count of 4, and then the two men moved towards each other. Tyson got away from a Spinks right hand and had a left-right combination to the head that put Spinks down again. He was unable to rise. And then he was KO'd in 91 seconds. Can you believe it? 91 freaking seconds. I don't know how long I described the pre-fight stuff, but I think that was about the right time. 91 seconds. The 6th shortest heavyweight title fight in history. And only 10 punches were landed by a boxer. 8 by Tyson, 2 by Spinks. Anyway. People said Spinks was undone because he abandoned his game plan of boxing and moving early to get respect. Anyway, so Tyson won. One of his handlers, Jimmy Jacobs, had passed away in March, so he dedicated the victory to him. So, anyway, it was still the richest fight in boxing history, grossing $70 million despite a 90-second fight. Over 700,000 households bought the fight on pay-per-view TV, and 800,000 tickets were sold at closed-circuit theater. There was a lot of revenue going on, but the Trump casino actually dropped $11.5 million that day. Spinks would never box again and would retire. Tyson spoke of retiring for some reason, and I don't know why, but anyway, it was the pinnacle of his boxing career. And then in December, he would dismiss his longtime trainer Kevin Rooney for some dumb reason, and got two guys who just basically built him into a bit of an egomaniac and all that. Tyson would make two more title defenses, but then lost that key fight to Buster Douglas. He would continue to fight till 2005. Both Tyson and Spinks are in the International and World Boxing Hall of Fame. There was a good undercard too. Canadian Donovan Razor Ruddock, TKO'd Reggie Gross. James Buster Douglas TKO'd Mike Williams. And Carl Williams with decision Trevor Burbick. But other than that, 91 seconds. It just doesn't make sense. But it was still a good fight somehow. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond.